rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
نويتن عليه، نويتن على سد البحر المساكين.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
أبوه.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
ناكلهم كلهم.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry.
لا إله إلا الله، شتاء الجوع.
I smelled something new, something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
أوكي، داخل بيتنا الحين يعني.
I got closer and closer.
طريق من وين؟ أطلع من الدريشة يعني. تحت.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything.
أوكي.
It's waiting for me to fall asleep, but it's not going to wait much longer.
وما راح يصير كثير.
And we both know.
ولا يعني ولا تتغذى علي.
Delicious.
وأنا بكون شهية أو لذيذة بمعنى صح.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
طيب.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
إيه فعلا. مضبوط.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past.
يعني ما تكلمت عن الماضي بعد.
When we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
القطوة يقصدون.
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
غرفة الجدة.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
سفن. سفن سفن سفن. وين سفن؟ هذا.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For
اوكي.
weeks,
صيفية رفض يروح.
celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house.
اوكي.
My mom was furious.
ايدي الجدة.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
اوكي.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
والله جدة مهتمة فيهم مرة.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
طيب.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife
جدة صح؟
and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind.
يتركون اللعنة وراهم.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
راحوا في المحيط كلهم لا.
Husband Sven and baby Molly.
اوكي لقوهم هم. اوكي اودن العجوز حقتنا. لا دوتر ايدي الجدة ذولي ايدي.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
أول ما دفن كان أودن.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
اللي هي شخصية جدتنا. خلاص. خلاص.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
هذا أودن الجد حقنا. هذا أودن مو بإيدن، أودن الجد.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
الجدة. حمام.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
حلو.
There's a secret in this
الحمام.
bathroom.
اوكي.
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard.
اوكي.
It's hidden in this book.
تسلم. والله طريقتها حلوة قسم بالله. حلو طيب. هذا اي. سفين عطى الكاميرا حقت سام. هاي الكاميرا صح؟ اوكي. هذا فوت كالفن، اتوقع انه ملجأ كالفن قصده.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin.
اوكي. سام كان له توأم. بس انا ما اتكلم عن توأمه.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
يقول ان الجد ما كان يحب شو اسمه التواريخ زي امه زي امها.
How I Want to Remember My Brother
اوكي.
by Sam Finch.
سام فينك اللي كتبها.
is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
اوكي.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And
Okay.
he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
يقول كان يبي يطير كالفن.
Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
قال لنا الطريق هذا خطير
Maybe if I hadn't said that,
ومستحيل قال له.
I'm not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
هيك الشجرة ما تحملت.
then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
هاي ذكرت عن أخوه.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
اليوم اللي كان بيطير فيه وطار. كالفن هذا.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was
يقول غريبة بأنه
I did the
تشبه.
exact same thing.
هذا كالفن. يعني احنا خلصنا مولي وكالفن والجد اودن، باقي ايدي. يعني ان شاء الله بنشوف الباقيين يعني.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
اوكي قفلتها يعني. دقيقة. الو. اوكي.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
خلينا نشوف هذا من حقته. من هذه؟
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child's toy.
باربرا. اوكي. قصر ذا مو بيت.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
فيها هوس في الكشخة والأمور ذي.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
اوكي. حلو. طريقة السرد عجبتني فيها. اوكي.
America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it the
surprise ending of Barbara
Finch.
اوكي. النهاية المفاجأة لبابرا.
As a child star,
اوكي.
Barbara was famous for her scream.
هي مشهورة بالصراخة يعني.
Now at 16, she was
عمرها 16 16.
a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans.
يعني كانت تبي موفي فانز انها
Her career needed.
تبي بوست لمسيرتها.
Her scream hadn't aged well.
بس ما طيب.
Better. I think you just need the right motivation.
ولازم نعطي اسم موتيفيشن مناسب.
And current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
اوكي.
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven.
اوكي.
He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
اوكي طاح على يده ودوه المستشفى.
Barbara had stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter.
اوكي.
convention comeback was cancelled.
سفين ابوها.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police
Okay.
are urging residents to...
وداهم البيت.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages.
اوكي يحب الممرات السرية.
Music box.
ايه نفس وضع البيت يعني هذا هو.
Winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks,
Hello?
babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later,
ما رجع.
hadn't returned.
ما رجع بعدي.
So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
البيت كان صامت. والله الساي لعبة بطل. والله مرة بطل. يعني الحين لا اتحرك. دم.
Found Rick's crutch.
ايه هذه شو اسمه العكازة حقته. في دميان. خزنة مفلوجة.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hanold, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
اوكي.
Fidge rattled and still.
يكون وراها هو من خيش. أسودير. اوكي.
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your son.
اوكي.
Well,
طلع
I'm
كيس يعني
not
كله.
Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept
زعلت عليه.
something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
اوكي في سلاح.
Hey, I'm coming up. But if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
طيب. والله شكل الموضوع ما هو بمزح. شكله جدي. ضربة وولتر. اختها وولتر.
Orcas Island police described the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the
اوكي.
and...
هذا هوك معه هوك. هوك اللي ما ادري شو اسمه. هذا حق اللي يلعبون في ذبيحة. كيف فصله؟ حلو.
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
يلا من هنا نمشي.
She played her part beautifully.
ايه.
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
ايش سوى وين نروح؟ طيب راح.
Wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
هذا الواقع، ما ظنيت تنتهي الحين.
The bookman had vanished.
إني والله داري.
Listened for his breathing, but all she heard was
اوكي.
door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
اوكي. هاي صرخة اللي هم يبون اصلا مس.
There myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
يعني هو اختفى في نفس الليلة.
Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time.
واخوها والتر ما كانش على سريره طول الوقت.
But that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
اذنها بعد.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
لا رسمي هذا مهبول.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered.
اوكي.
As absurd as that comic was, maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
باقي سام وولتر.